The Vanishing Prairie is the 1954 Oscar-winning Disney documentary. This, of course, won the Best Documentary Features Oscar, and I have to say I really liked it. It took a little bit of time for me to get into it. I'd previously watched another Disney documentary about wildlife, and that one I thought was so much better. So I think this one just took time to find its feet, but I still really thoroughly enjoyed it. It does, of course, tell the story of the prairie and kind of what it used to be like compared to what it's like now. And I say now as in 1954. And it's really fascinating. Now, my knowledge of the prairie is not that extensive. I feel a little bit more informed now. It's definitely very educational and also quite intense. There are a couple of moments that I will discuss in a tiny bit of detail. I don't want to spoil too much, but there are a few things I want to highlight. It's directed by James Algar and narrated brilliantly by Winston Hibler. The narration is very clear, it's easy to follow, it's engaging, occasionally it's funny. It's not a comedic documentary, but occasionally there's some kind of light-hearted narration, but mostly it's informative. And it basically introduces us to the prairie, the history of the prairie as far back as it goes, as far back as information goes, and then it mostly focuses on the animals, bison, elk, the big cats, the beautiful big cats, which I'll talk about more in a moment, and we have just so much footage. The whole thing's an hour and something. It's not much over an hour, but the majority of it is footage of animals in their natural environment doing their thing, as is the case with a nature documentary. And just the amount of footage is just incredible. Certainly, even for today. But in the 50s, very, very impressed. I don't know what kind of long lenses they were using, but we get up really close and personal. And it starts off mostly talking about bison and the buffalo, and talking about, how there are fewer of them now. I don't know how few there are today, given that this was 70 something, almost 70 years ago. But certainly it's pointing the fact that it used to be just bison and buffalo everywhere, and now, or then, it significantly depleted. I imagine that's even more so the case. And we do get to see a lot of them up close, and there's this one bit where we see a calf being born, which is disgusting, but also very fascinating, and it's really engaging. And then the mother ate the membrane around the calf's head, which has survival instincts. It's apparently because they don't want to leave behind the trail of the scent, to attract predators. It's got a survival reason, but watching it is still pretty. Nature can be disgusting at times, but very compelling. And then we move on to different animals, and my favourite, I won't say all of the animals it covers, but without question, my favourites are the big cats. And we look at the mountain lion, and it is just so gorgeous. And we see it scratching its claws on a tree post as if it's a scratching post. And we see the mama mountain lion teaching its little kittens. The kittens are ridiculously adorable, and it's all so cute. But we do see some pretty disturbing scenes of disturbing but natural. It's important to remember this is nature and this is what nature does. But we do see a lion going after a deer, and it's not as bloodthirsty as it sounds. We don't get to see the actual kill, for which I'm very thankful, because I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case. But you do kind of see the carcass, and it's a bit uncomfortable. There's one really intense moment, and I actually won't say what comes of this moment, but we see this little fawn, this adorable little Bambi, and it's curled up, silent and still among the bushes, or the plants, and the lion is creeping along, and it can detect there's something there, but the fawn apparently has no scent. Apparently when they're young, they don't have a scent. It's like an evolutionary thing that they've developed no scent. That's not the right way to phrase it. But they don't have a scent, so the young animals don't attract predators. But the mountain lion knows it's there, and it's creeping around, and I'm just thinking, is it going to get the baby deer? And I won't say what happens, but it's very intense. Wonderful footage, really gorgeously done. The music that accompanies it is brilliant. I don't have Wikipedia up to get who did the music. I apologize, but it is Very engaging and really thoroughly enjoyable. Brilliant narration, as I said. Yeah, it took longer for me to get into than some other Disney documentaries, but it was worth persevering with for like 15 minutes. It didn't take a tremendous amount of time, but I enjoyed it. Gorgeous footage, very educational. It is on Disney Plus, and I thoroughly recommend it.